Hi, I'm Karma. Welcome to my channel, Karma of Ominit. Today we're going to be working on a crystal grid. If you don't know how to do a crystal grid, this will start from the beginning and help you to understand what you're doing. So today we're going to do a crystal grid on peace and love. And I wanted to do this for July because of all the civil unrest that we've been having in the United States and the world at large. So I wanted to do a crystal grid on peace and love, and I wanted to keep that up for as long as we continue to have these problems, probably for at least, say, 3 months, and I might redo it after then. So with this, the first thing we want to look at is what kinds of things we want to use on our crystal grid. And first chart, choose the crystal grid that you want to use. And I'm actually going to use a crystal grid, I'll show it to you in a second, that I got in the Enchanted Crystals box last month. So we'll be utilizing that from the Enchanted Crystals box. And then some of the gems we are using are from subscription boxes as well. First, I wanted to look at what herbs to use. And I decided on 3 herbs to use for this crystal mandala. And we'll put those on at the very end. I'm just going to kind of sprinkle them this time, but you can do, like if you do herbs, you can do a circle of the herb around it. Like if you want to do salt, you could do a circle of salt around it. But I'm just going to kind of sprinkle them over the crystal grid at the very end and then empower it. So first I'm going to use salt. Salt is used for purification, spiritual protection, releasing unwanted or negative energy, and guidance to your higher self. It also creates an objective perspective, which is part of why I wanted to use it for this particular grid. Then we're going to use sunflower, and sunflower, it helps you to seek enlightenment and truth and to seek out the light. The flower always faces the sun, so because it faces the sun, it's looking up towards the heavens, and that's where a lot of its meaning comes from. Then I'm going to use cinnamon, and cinnamon is used mostly to bring speed and success. So that's why I'm going to add that this time. Now, first thing I'm going to do is do an intention. And for this intention, I decided to actually write it on, I put love, and then I wrote the intention on the back that I'll read to you. And this is actually on seed paper. So after I dissolve the crystal mandala, then I will plant this and hopefully have some beautiful flowers to watch that beauty come out of this intention in this crystal grid. So I've got the intention there. Then I'm going to use as a base in the center this red agate. And the red agate was from the Mindful Souls box in June. And it basically stands for introspection. It'll aid in relaxation. It mellows things out, which is part of why I'm using it. It calms, brings security and safety, and is a strong grounder. So that's why I chose to use the red agate. Now the things that I'm reading you, red agate stands for lots of things, but I wanted to hit the points that I'm choosing the stone for this crystal grid. And I do use the Crystal Bible, so I will put a link to that down in the bottom. I get information from other places, but Judy's books are probably the most concise and gives you the easiest, best information. Then on top of that agate palm stone, I'm going to put a rose quartz point. So with the rose quartz point, this was in the Mindful Souls box in May. So 2 gems from Mindful Souls box that I'll be using. The rose quartz stands for unconditional love, infinite peace. It's the crystal for the heart chakra. It's calming and reassuring. It's good for trauma or crisis. And just in case you know, we're going to be doing this. I'll show you the amethyst I'm using later, but coupled with amethyst, amethyst helps to cool existing relationships, and so you'll see the amethyst in a minute as well, and why we coupled those together. Then I chose turquoise, And I'm just using these little turquoise. They're flat on one side, which is kind of nice to be able to put them in. And these are Morocco turquoise, and I got them from Amazon. They're protective, solace for the spirit, and well-being for body. They enhance communication, dispel negative energy, and instills a calm while still remaining alert. So that's why I chose the turquoise. Then I chose some quartz cube crystals, so you can see them. And I chose them. They're the most powerful healing stone. They raise the energy to the highest potential. When acupuncture needles are coated with clear quartz, it actually increases the effects of the acupuncture by 10%. And then we've also seen in magnetic field photography that holding quartz crystal will magnify your field by 50%, actually doubles it. So anything that we put quartz crystal with will amplify those other stones as well. So always lots of quartz crystals. I'm going to be doing another crystal grid for people who are looking for job opportunities or success, because so many people are struggling right now with COVID. So that'll be our next crystal grid, and we'll be using some crystal quartz little sticks for that one. Then amethyst, and I did get these from Amazon. It's hard to kind of see them on the video, but they actually are little hearts of varying color. And I used amethyst because it guards against psychic attacks and transmutes energy into love. It facilitates dimension making with common sense and spiritual insights. It dispels anger and rage, fear, and anxiety. So that's why I chose that amethyst. So those are the things that I chose to use in this crystal grid. And I'm going to change the camera angle now so that you can see the crystal grid and what I'm talking about as we go on from here. Okay, I think that's a pretty good view. So you can see here, we have our crystals that we're going to use. And then I have the herbs over there on the side. This is the crystal grid that was given in the Enchanted Crystal Box. Guess I should turn it around so you can see it. Sorry about that. And here's the intention. Now, the first thing that I want to do is I want to read the intention. I have already saged myself and saged the area, but I haven't cleansed the crystals yet. So what we're saying on our intention says we allow the perspective of others to deepen our understanding and love for them. We are willing to see things differently. We have joy and a world at peace. So I'm just going to go ahead and put that in the center there, and then the stone will go over it and it will hold it down. But that's going to be in the center. So the first thing typically that you want to do is you want to go ahead and you can sage or Palo Santo. I'll go ahead and do some sage here today. We want to cleanse the crystals before we start the crystal grid. Different people do different things as far as whether they build the grid from the inside or from the outside. That can be more preference. Different people have different reasons for why they build it the way they do. I like to start from the center just because I like to really start with my intention. So first here, I'm going to get this sage going well. Okay, and then we'll take all of our crystals and one by one cleanse them with the sage. And all the while you're cleansing the crystals, think about them being used in their highest, being cleansed and used in their highest. I'm not sure if my hand's coming up so high in the camera that it's bugging you. So this is my first time doing this camera angle. So we'll see how we do. Thinking of them cleansing, using for their highest power, for the purpose that they're meant to be used for. I just kind of put these in an order so I remember a little bit how I wanted to lay it out. If it doesn't end up exactly the same, that's okay too. Okay. I'm going to and then I'll do myself a little bit. Okay. So now we've got the crystals all cleansed and ready to go. Go ahead and put this intention down, and then we'll start with the carnelian. And again, as we put the carnelian on, we want to remember some of the things that we're using that carnelian for. I typically concentrate on it for just a minute. Oops, carnelian. I keep saying carnelian. It's red agate. And carnelian's not even that color. Pardon me? Red agate. So the red agate, remember, we're using because of its introspection. It's aiding in relaxation or mellowing out. Help it to calm the current situation in the United States and world at large. Help us to have security and safety and be grounded well. Then we're going to use the rose quartz point. Rose quartz, remember, is love and for the heart chakra. Set that right on the center there. And we're going to use turquoise, which means peace and tranquility and is a protection. So as I place each of these stones, I pray for a world at peace and especially calm for the protests and the things happening in the United States. May we listen to each other, understand each other, and find real solutions to the problems. Then the quartz, remember with the quartz, it's amplifying anything that we, other stones that we have on there. And it's the most powerful healing stone. It raises the energy to the highest potential, which is what we need right now. I pray that this quartz will do its job to help amplify these other stones, to bring clarity, to bring peace, to raise the energy to the highest potential. And the amethyst. With this amethyst, please help guard us against any psychic attacks. Transmit any energy that's being used against us into love. Help to facilitate our decision making with common sense and spiritual insight. Please help to dispel the anger and the rage and the fear and the anxiety caused by not only the riots and protesting, but also the fear and anxiety that's being caused right now with the world going through COVID, a pandemic that we are all facing together. Please bring us peace and hope. And then to end, I want to add again some more turquoise. Please, with this turquoise, protect us. Protect the United States and the world at large. Bring well-being for our spirit and for our body. Help enhance our communication with one another, especially those with which we don't agree. Help to dispel any negative energy. Instill upon us calm with an alert mind to be able to handle the problems that we're facing right now. So now we have the crystal grid basically built, and at this point we want to energize the grid. And with energize, it's usually just bringing, connecting all of the lines or the crystals together that we put in it. But before I do that, let's go ahead and add our herbs. So let me get out first. We have sunflower. Remember sunflower. So let me get these out. So with this sunflower, please help us to seek enlightenment and truth, to seek out light, to seek out answers of light. And I'm just going to sprinkle these around. Like I said, if you want, you can actually make like a flower or put them just in certain areas of the grid. But I'm just going to sprinkle them throughout. That's really pretty. And with salt, and I'm just using some pink Himalayan salt. So with this pink Himalayan salt, with this salt, please purify, spiritually protect us, release any unwanted negative energy. Give us guidance to help us find our highest self, to interact with each other in our highest self. Please help to create an objective atmosphere so that we listen to each other with objectivity, not just through the glasses that we tend to see everything through. And I have some cinnamon. I'm using some cinnamon sticks or cinnamon bark sticks just because I think they're nice to be able to pick up easily. You can just use cinnamon and sprinkle it, but I'm going to use these cinnamon sticks. So with this cinnamon, I add it to this crystal grid to bring speed to what we're asking and success for all those involved. I'm just going to set them on either side there. So now at this point, I'm going to go ahead and energize the grid. And again, some people like to energize from the inside out or from the outside in. I don't think it really matters. I think part of it is just visualizing the energy going onto the grid, going around in the circle, connecting them all. Connect their meanings to make this into one grid. It's like a prayer. This is my prayer. Concentrate on it for a minute, especially thinking of that intention. I do like doing them on a plate like this. I have some flat glass plates. Well, I guess they're actually a ceramic. And I like doing that because now I can take this grid and I can move it anywhere. So in closing, because this is a prayer, in my mind, this is a visualization with a prayer. I'm going to go ahead and dedicate this piece. By the power of this compassionate practice, may suffering be transformed into peace. May the hearts of all beings be open and their wisdom radiate from within. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this crystal grid video. Please feel free to leave any comments of any types of grids that you would like to see me build in the future. And I hope you have a blessed day.